Be called to order. We have a minutes to be read and approved. If I can find my, must be there. Must be. Has everybody read the minutes?
Yes, sir.
Any comments?
None.
Changes? Entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve as written.
Second.
All in, seconded? Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Turn that on, Rick.
Do you have a, Tim Goodman?
Right here.
Oh, you don't wish to speak?
I don't have anything to say today.
Dolores?
Yes,
Pardon?
yes,
No?
yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Well, it's your turn.
Okay, I just want to let you know that I came across some information that kind of shocked me, and I don't think you are aware of it, so that's why I wanted to bring it up to the attention of the board. I'm going to give you some background information first. I'm talking about plant number 3. Now, you know, we were all told that was for the property across the freeway. And RPMUD was all built out at that time. Now, that project cost close to $1 million. So here's what I got from the MUD files. Going back to the MUD newsletter dated July of '94 regarding the $2.9 million bond proposal. And it states, and I'm just going to read a couple of parts from this, because you can go to the files and get the whole enchilada. Water storage facilities. Construction of a storage tank at the new water well site would not be cost effective, since all the distribution system flows from water well number 2, and several distribution pressure pumps and controls are also located at the number 2 site. Therefore, the 500,000 gallon water storage tank located at number 2 will serve as storage for the new well. Then under water well supply line, it says, as pointed out above, no water storage will be built at the new well site. There, it will be necessary to install an 8-inch supply line to connect the new water well to the present storage facility at water well 2. Cost estimate for this is $47,500. Then we get another newsletter the following year. It says, during '94, the MUD Board of Directors took steps to have a bond issue approved by the residents of the district, so that money would be available to drill a 3rd water well, concrete the banks and bottom of Plantation Creek, provide drainage for Bellingrad Park, replace major equipment outages, and further contingencies. Then comes the project across the freeway. Now we have a memo from Vote Engineering dated April 13th, 2007. It's to the city of Conroe, copying Ramirez. Subject: utility service for new commercial development adjacent but outside Conroe, or city of Conroe. It says, in order to most cost effectively serve the site, we have discussed with MUD the possibility of an interlocal agreement whereby MUD would purchase capacity from Conroe. There are initial questions about that scenario, which should be addressed before the 2 political subdivisions of the state discuss the issues of an interposal agreement or any other form of service agreement on which the parties may agree. Does the city have water capacity, waste treatment capacity, lift station enforcement? Then 6 days later, another letter from Vote. It's to the MUD with a copy to the city. Request for service on approximately 38 acres, actually 21 acres initially. It says, we are therefore requesting service of water and wastewater from the district. Our expectation is that our wastewater usage will require 190,000 gallons per day average daily flow in total. We would propose a lift station at an appropriate location on site and force main back to deliver wastewater to the nearest gravity line of the district. We had discussed the possibility with Mr. Ramirez of the district acting as our utility purveyor and contracting with the city of Conroe for water and or wastewater capacity for the site. Of course, if the district has capacity to serve the site adequately with existing facilities, we would certainly support that avenue, as opposed to the complications of dealing with the city of Conroe. Now, the city of Conroe does, however, have a 16-inch water line running in an easement across the frontage of the subject property, as well as an 8-inch diameter wastewater force main. In order to expedite consideration of the most cost-effective method of serving the tract, we have requested the city of Conroe to consider that option. I'll be present at your next meeting to answer any questions. Then, less than a year later, we have this letter from Blyle Associates. to the
Excuse me,
TC
just
Yes,
a minute. Could we Xerox that?
You
and just
have
have
it.
it? Pardon?
you have it.
And where is it?
Well, you have.
In the
it your
archives?
files. I don't have too much more to tell you.
Okay, okay.
Okay, now we're getting over to Blyle's letter. He's sending this to the TCEQ as justification for plant number 3. The first paragraph says, this letter is to define the scope of work required to construct water storage and pumping facilities at the site of well number 3 on Mosser Drive. The purpose of the improvements is to accommodate future growth in the district, including proposed commercial multifamily development along I-45. The report will evaluate the district's water capacity and supply, discuss proposed facilities, design issue, and make recommendations with preliminary cost estimates. There were no cost estimates on there. And the MUD is not a developer, should not be developing a site for a 500,000 gallon tank. Now, number 2 on the list, this is page 2 rather, and the number 1 on the list, a proposed commercial development within the district is anticipated to add an additional 381 equivalent single-family connections. Now, this is the property across the freeway that doesn't want to be in our district, who wants to go with the city. Now, we've got a couple other things in here too that probably would need some documentation. Then we have a letter from Ramirez to the city of Conroe dated July 2012, saying the MUD does not have the infrastructure to handle the property across the freeway. Well, this is what those people across the freeway wanted all along. They have that line over there, they wanted to work. Why would they put $1 million into a plant when they could pay for water on a monthly basis as they needed it? And it's been now, what, 10, 11 years? There's nothing over there anyway. So, I mean, I think this should be looked into. And I'd like to know where the money came from that we paid for that plant. And how much did this whole project actually cost? Because we've never really seen all the invoices. Now, when I talked to the TCEQ, they told me that this plant can be sold. We can get some of our money back. I said, don't consider it junk. There's a market out there. Now, you increased our sewer rates because of this $500,000 cost for the sewer fix. And we would have had that money in the bank if we hadn't spent it on the tank. Now, if you've got any documents, as I said, these all came from your files. You've got any documents to refute this, let me know, because I have given this information out to other people, and they're as ticked off as I am. Now, if you've got anything that substantiates anything, give it to me, and I'm gonna post alongside all of this. Because it looks like we've been taken for $1 million. So, if you can work on this and get this on the agenda for next month, that would be great. And if you've got any information that I can post, give it to me tomorrow, because I have no idea when this stuff is gonna be going on the web.
All right, could we have a copy of that?
You have.
Of your notes?
Of my notes? You have.
I left my hearing aid at home and I didn't hear half of what you said, I'm sorry.
Well, that's not, I'll tell you. Okay, you've got all this information in your files.
Did we lose any of it? Did we lose any of that information?
We lost a lot of that information.
Now, how could you lose all that information?
We had a flood.
We had a flood.
You had a flood, I had a flood.
Everybody had a flood.
Yes, and the thing is, we never lost any paper. We
What?
laid it out on the concrete, it dried, and we were able to copy it. So how you could lose everything, I have no idea.
I lost everything in
94, that's when I had the flood.
Paper and all.
Well, if you laid it out, you could
And a
draw
house.
and copy.
I lost everything.
Well, I'll tell you what, I will email these letters to you. these that have come from your,
Well, what it is, it's stuff that happened back in the nineties.
yeah, but the thing is,
Excuse me, and I'm not conversant of it, and I'm
None
not
of us
aware
were-
of it.
None of us were here at the time.
None of us were involved, you were involved,
I wasn't on the board.
but that's,
yeah, but you were in the office, so
He
you know
wasn't
where the
involved.
files are.
I don't know that
He
any of the
was
rest of us
involved,
were. That's the reason I was asking if you would share that with us.
I will email that to you
I'd
since you
appreciate
have
it.
nothing in your files, and if you are missing anything else, let me know, because I've got tons of stuff. But I think this needs to be addressed because it's money that was certainly not spent in the correct way, and it's $1 million. It's not like we're talking about a couple of hundred.
Okay.
Can you put that on the agenda next month so we can discuss this? I'll get this stuff out to you tomorrow.
I'd like to read it first and then we'll,
Certainly. Well, certainly.
okay.
We'll
Withhold,
be here next month.
okay. And, Carolyn?
Richard, you
No
can see what you
problem.
can find, well, if there's anything with salaries.
Whatever I can find, yeah.
The only thing I'd say is, you know, it should.
Anyone else
should
have a
be
comment?
Investigated.
Okay.
And then
Next item of business, review the bookkeeper's report. The, were any of these CDs changed?
No, only them.
two
That,
of them should have.
Nothing
Yeah.
to-
Ah.
nothing to-
Yeah, not yet.
There's two that just expired. They're being
And one,
today.
Yeah. They raised rates again today, so.
yeah.
Mhm.
Another 1/4%.
I think the last two, we got up, got a little 2% for.
Pardon?
Last two that we renewed, we got about 2% for, which is more than we've been getting. Richard, this third payment accrues on this
Yes,
contract?
pay estimate 30.
Mhm.
Everything else looks okay. Just doesn't over and above.
How much are we into the sewer reimbursement?
We just made some big payments.
I didn't see a check.
57,000.
Pay estimate 3
Yeah.
is the next one up right now.
Payment three
for
is
signing.
third payment, it's third payment we made.
Or is it?
See it there?
You're on the right page? You're on the wrong page, it's on this page. Right here.
The very bottom one, right?
You're on- here,
Well, I'm looking at maintenance and repairs,
You're too far
storm.
back, it's right here.
All right, so we paid them another 58,000.
Right.
And what does that constitute? How much percentage?
We're
About?
about 45%.
45?
Yeah,
So we're about 45% complete.
correct.
The problems you're running into now, is that an extra, or was that anticipated?
It was anticipated. We just got to coordinate it.
So they know about it.
So most, just about, the basic work's done, it's just the
Yeah.
problem to us.
Anybody have any questions?
No, this doesn't seem, nothing in there above normal.
Administrative reports?
Now the ordinary administrative report, all the plants are running fine.
I see our usage is down quite a bit.
Usage has dropped quite a bit.
How many days does this constitute?
About 29 days,
How many?
about 29 days, and we had less because of February was a short month.
So this is calendar month? I mean, 28 days in February, but it was 29 days?
Yes, between the last readings and this readings.
It's got almost 2 million gallons.
I included the systems totals report in there for you this time so you could see there's 126 accounts that have zero usage. Those are mainly in the section 4 area.
Well, I've got to ask a question. You pumped almost 5 million gallons, but you treated over twice that much.
Treated over twice.
How can that be?
What do you mean I treated more than twice? Oh, yeah, on the wastewater?
Yeah?
That's because of the infiltration from the rains.
From the,
It comes down the sewer line. That's not part of the water system. When it rains like crazy. and
oh, that's right, we
floods,
had some pretty good rain, excuse me.
right, and that infiltration goes down the line.
Yeah.
That's what part of our rehab is for, to stop that.
Well, it doesn't make a lot of difference where we put it today,
Yeah.
whether it goes to the lake or to the river.
Right.
Yeah, the lakes are full right there, right now.
Well, it was
Yeah.
probably full after the rain.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All we did was just put it down the
I know
creek, it was just
Tuesday-
another place
I
for
know
it to go.
Tuesday, the lakes are all.
Does us no good
full.
now, except for the good golf course, and
Right.
fulfills our agreement with them.
Mosswood Lift Station is working fine, especially after the new upgrade. Phillips Park is near completion. They've got the new pumps in the hole now and they're.
Yeah, that
panels
was the
online.
question I wanted to ask, that's what this $40,000 is for?
That's correct.
The pumps on station 1.
Now, we've got, that station, including the upgrade, it's already paid for in the flood damage. Insurance paid for that. So, we've already actually been paid for that, we're just now paying to go.
All right, how much do you still anticipate recovering from FEMA?
Well, the figure changed because we had originally submitted $250,000 for damages along Plantation Creek. But after their inspectors,
It's now up to what, 200?
$500,000,
$500,000?
yes.
And that, you think that will take care of Plantation Creek?
Yes, that's from top to bottom.
Have we seen the engineers about it?
Yes, the engineers who wrote the estimate.
They worked the estimate?
Yeah, and I've submitted that to FEMA now, so I'm waiting for them to, for the next step.
Okay.
The next step will be that we go out to bid and get hard numbers, and then we submit that back to FEMA, and then FEMA approves it.
Well, we'll be entering the dry season, so I suggest that we start the bidding process as soon as possible on that.
It's already in the works.
Do we, how long do we anticipate FEMA taking to make that reimbursement? I say reimbursement, are they gonna,
So far, it's not approved yet, so.
are they gonna fund prior to, or do we have to spend the money first?
I'm not clear on that. They haven't given me a clear answer on that yet.
Bottom,
From what I understand, FEMA used to just pay straight to the entity. Now, since the laws have all changed and the legislature's changed, FEMA funds to the state of Texas. The state of Texas controller will actually disperse the funds to all the entities in Texas.
And that-
through TCEQ,
No, through the state controller.
just through the controller's office.
And how much delay does that put on?
That's another entity I'm having to deal with now.
And Bonham's handling that?
Yeah, I talked to him this week. He mentioned something about it.
Anyone have any questions?
No.
Regardless of how it gets paid for,
Pardon?
we're gonna have to pay it.
Yeah.
I mean, if we don't get, are we gonna go ahead with the repairs that FEMA doesn't pay for us?
Well, it's my understanding, I can't get a clear answer out of anybody else either, is FEMA will actually, after everything's done, pay 90% of the project. Not 100% like they claim,
Well.
but I mean, still it's a good price for us
Well,
to pay for the, to pay for the damages, otherwise we'd have to pay for that.
depends on whether it's pre-funded or whether it's after the invoice is presented.
Right,
And, but I would proceed with the bidding process, instruct the, because we have a big problem over behind Fairway Village.
yes,
Yeah, that's where,
yes.
that's where the big problem is.
And I think we've got a pretty good side problem, but it's downstream of the bridge here,
Right.
Well, somebody's been
which
over
is
there.
not as imperative as it is behind those homes. Is there any other place that's in bad shape other than those two areas?
Well, the top is in bad shape, which like you mentioned over there, and then we've got a couple in the middle that are decent, but they're not disastrous.
How did the stuff that we did a year or two ago hold up?
That's holding up. But the downstream has really gotten worse over here. We've got
Yeah,
wall slide down
I
there.
drove down there the other day.
Yeah, so you've seen the damage down there. So, but it's all in the report, so.
But these plantation helps us with that, right?
Yeah, they have to pay for 50% of all
Yeah,
that.
it's like,
Yeah.
look at that. Usually before, I don't know.
Does anyone have any new or old business? Well, I do, if you don't.
No, you probably got the same thing I do, go ahead.
Our well number 2,
Yeah, that's what I had, that's what I'm on to.
all of our performance testing and heads show that it's fallen off. That's what's in front of you. If you can read it. The most glaring part of the whole thing are the water levels.
It's only running 70%.
Yeah.
Oh, you were not here. Is it underneath there?
No, I
Here.
made it.
Yeah,
two. I can make another one.
Oh, that's okay. We'll look at it together.
All right, if you'll notice, this is well number 2. The static water level has come up in the last couple of years, but it's nowhere near what it was, of course, some time ago. And what's happened is we're seeing a widening reduction, a widening difference between the ability to pump and the water level. If you'll notice that. Okay? Part of that is probably due to the condition of the downhole equipment. That hole has got a bad liner, it had a liner in it.
That was redone in
And-
1996.
They reduced the size of the screen to put in to be able to get inside the new liner that they tried to put in. Am I correct and all of that? Since I was playing golf during all that time, and I saw I saw the rig out there for months on end and couldn't figure out what they were doing for so long, but now it comes to pass that they didn't really re-equip that well as it should have been, and it's starting to tell on us now. I think, and looking at a long-range weather forecast for the next year to 2 years, the next cycle, let's put it that way. We're entering a dry cycle according to the meteorologist. Whether it's going to be as bad as it was in 10, 11, and 12, no one knows. But we're starting to experience some rather wide swings in our weather patterns. And it's not uncommon, let's say, to have periods of drought and excess rain we were having in different areas. Southern California is a fine example. They've gotten over 3-4 inches of rain the last 2 days. And yet they've been in a drought condition, and now they're having their mudslides, et cetera, again. Anyway, what I would like for you to do, and the board, I would like the board to approve, or to think about approving. We'll put it on the agenda for next April, or for the next meeting. To approve, and in the meantime, we'll go out and get some offhand bids. 2 things need to occur. One is we need to acquire additional land. At one time, we had an agreement with Mr. Blackburn to acquire additional land between the roadway and the existing facility. He said he would work with us. We didn't have an agreement, he just said he'd work with us. I don't know what the status of that piece of ground is today. I know he has an option to buy, whether it's in full force effect, I can't tell you. That's something we'll have to take up with him. We will need some extra ground, and basically that area between the green on number 7 and the tee box on number 8
Are you drilling
it
another
is
well?
void.
Are you drilling another well, is that it?
Yeah,
That's true.
we'd have to drill another well. Now, chances are we'll probably be able to utilize everything, all the rest of the surface equipment. And if I can position the well far enough away, it's my plan to leave the other well in operation so that we could have it in case of times of peak delivery or emergency sake. So we're talking about something like about $1.2 million. I don't know what they're charging today, more because of the Catahoula stuff, but somewhere in that range of money. We'll get we can get an estimate, if you will. And I will talk to Mr. Blackburn in between now and the next meeting and present a motion at that time.
How far towards the road is?
Pardon?
Kind of from where the pump is now towards the green and the.
Probably 150.
How much of that do we already own?
We don't own any of it. We lease it, I think, didn't we?
No, we own it.
We own it. We own that piece that's covered in levee, within the levee.
Just within the levee? There's
Yeah,
not,
just within the
not
levee.
enough room.
The roadway,
So there's not enough room within the levee?
don't want it next to that well.
No, I know you want it further away.
I want it as far away from that well as you can get it because of the pressure.
Yeah. It's
Cold.
pretty tight.
We got to talk about a little bit about reservoir engineering here, but
Under
Almost.
depression, that's what it's called.
we have a pressure drop in and around that well
If we only
bore.
own to the levee, I know there's not enough room, but I thought we might own some other.
And in fact, we know that that well bore is already damaged to some extent. So it's produced a lot of sand in the past, I believe. That was the reason they had to go in and didn't have a collapse liner in there to begin with. And that probably didn't help matters any.
Was that
Sometime in the
Weisinger?
90s, didn't
Was
it?
that Weisinger that did that?
Weisinger did the sleeve, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been 20 years ago. Yeah.
1996.
So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. That's come to my
I
attention.
remember when it was being worked on, it was at least 20 years ago.
I got concerned with it when I started reading about weather patterns and all that. And I asked Richard to pull the data out, present it to.
How much damage was done to that well during Harvey?
We lost all the
The
control.
well itself, there wasn't any damage done.
No damage to the well.
It was the surface.
We lost all the
We lost the
surface.
motor, the controls, the
Yeah,
controls, the
now that's something we
transformers,
could probably
all that.
alleviate somewhat if we go in there, and we could relocate some of the surface stuff, except the tank and separators and all.
And based on this.
Some of the electrical equipment we might be able to relocate.
Based on this, we're having to go deeper and deeper for water.
But, anyway, that's, let you know where I'm coming from?
Well, we've known for several years that this was coming.
We knew the day was coming.
We've
I just think that it's getting here faster than we thought. Or I think it's gonna get here faster than we thought.
Well, it was put in 67?
The well,
Yeah,
70.
70?
Original was drilled 70.
That one was 70, the written, number one was.
Number one was
66,
66.
so it's been there pretty long.
Anybody have any more questions about that?
When you say how far away, I'm just
As
trying
far
to
as we
picture-
get, we can't get across the road, which I'd love to do, but, you love to get as far away as you can. In other words, if I had a place to drill it in the middle of the golf course out there in the, underneath the right of way, out there in the driving range, that's where I prefer to put it. But I'm not gonna put it there because I'd have to build everything else there, the infrastructure, I did except in an emergency basis.
I could,
Then I think we'd be better off keeping everything and keeping the cost down then for just the well bore rather than all the
I
infrastructure.
would go across the roads as long-term plans for the shutting that.
Which
course
road are you
down.
going across? The,
Well-
River Plantation Drive?
Yeah.
The thing about it is, where we're talking though, you would have to build the lines across the road and you're just a little further away, not that it makes a whole lot of difference. But,
You're talking towards 2 Charleston?
well, yeah,
I would say.
plus the fact that the area I'm talking about is unused. It's
It's all woods across.
You don't
the
use
road.
it. Nobody used it. Stray golf ball every once in a while off of number,
You're talking about the area behind number 3 green.
adjacent to number 8 green, to the right,
To the right?
between that and the lake,
Okay.
between Biloxi 8
Well, I thought you wanted.
and Biloxi
I
7.
thought you wanted to go across RP Drive.
No,
Oh,
no.
you said
no,
across the
no,
road.
So,
That's what I was.
so which road are you talking about?
He's talking about that trail that's cut through there, the construction.
Going
road.
over towards,
Right here.
No, he's talking about the road that runs through, right
Here's-
behind the levee.
Here's,
Yeah.
The construction.
here's River Plantation
Oh,
Drive.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Here's the tee box for number 8, and there's the green down here. All right, here's the green for number 7, okay? Here's the lake, all right? All of this area from here
Yeah.
and in this area, this is where the present facilities are down here.
He's talking about putting.
What I want to do is acquire this,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
all right? And drill the well up in this area,
Yeah, there's a road that runs through there.
drill the well in this area, which
by the
is,
tee box, yeah.
as far away from here as I can get it.
Yeah.
All right? Then all we have to do is construct a small fence around that. All right?
And run the pipes.
And run the pipes, yeah.
And just run the additional pipe. But I think there's probably already a pipe right in that area, so I think all we'd have to do is tap it. It doesn't, the pipe from number 3, when we were pumping number 3 over there, go right through there?
Correct.
So, I don't see any reason why we couldn't utilize that.
But the tank's in good shape.
Takes a good shape, yeah.
Yeah. And it goes right straight to those facilities. He's just got it blanked off at the facility.
Is it underneath the service road or next to it?
Underneath. We're on the service road.
Yeah.
That was the other thing. I'm not sure we have a right of access on that service road either.
We own the road.
Do we?
How far do
Ed
we
wasn't
go?
sure that we did.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
The whole length of the road?
Mhm.
So you're talking just how far off the road do we enter, just the road?
Well, it doesn't take, a water well rig doesn't take any.
No, but I'm just saying, if you're talking about buying some more, acquiring more land, but if we already own that,
You only own this.
We own it.
well, you say we own the road, the service
No,
road.
we
too.
own.
No, you just have a right to use the service road.
No, we own the road.
You own the road.
They actually bought it.
Well,
It was,
So
it
the
was
property-
plotted and everything, yeah.
The property would own.
So does it go all the way to RP Drive,
It
or?
goes all the way to RP Drive to the plant.
So
I
we-
didn't understand it that way.
Yeah, that's, before they poured the concrete driveway, Sid told me they bought that. And that's supposed to be
We didn't-
deeded and everything. It's-
When was that deeded?
Oh, gosh, I don't know, I wasn't here. That was all done before I got here.
Would be the first thing to check and see if we already
Yeah.
own it, we don't,
You own
we're going
it.
to have to acquire it.
You may just own.
Well, that's just the
maybe
roadway though that you own.
Maybe just own the.
You still got to
property.
get into the other one.
Yeah,
You still gotta get back here.
Well, the road goes all the way
The road goes all the way to the
plant,
plant.
Yeah.
to the levee.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes all the way back here, but you don't wanna get inside the road.
drill on the road.
You'd have to put,
Well, I mean, you know, did we just buy the road, or do we have,
I don't know what we've got, it got me confused, cause I understood all we had was access.
No, we had, actually on that road, if I'm not mistaken, there's 5 foot on either side of the actual concrete.